Now, just talking about Shadow's mothering skills, Carol in Atlanta, very good point from you, which is how much has to do with the territories that the leopardesses hold, whether it is to do with prey concentrations, other leopards around, hyenas, lion concentration, and so on. It's a very, very valid point, and definitely, if you were to take a cross-section from one part of the Sabi Sands, or one part of the Kruger National Park, and compare it to another, you would definitely find, I imagine, you would definitely find a difference. However, I think that Karula and Shadow's territories are too close together for that to necessarily be a deciding factor. The reason I say that is the lion concentration, I mean, they share a boundary. The lion concentration is essentially the same. Hyenas, again, essentially the same. And the habitat is almost identical. But that's a very, very good point. And there is a chance that would definitely play a rate in cub success and survival rate. In a place where there are no lions and no hyenas, there will be a much higher success rate than there would be for others. And of course the biggest killer, 50% of known cub deaths, and that's where the key lies, 50% theoretically of known cub deaths are caused by male leopards, which is a very strange thing for us as human beings to wrap our heads around. Okay. We have arrived at the Gowrie repeater. This of course plays an enormous role in our abilities to send out and do a live game drive from the middle of the African bush. We shall do a brief look at it. It gives me a chance to scan the area for any leopards in marula trees. Watch heads. Sorry, Gert. And there we go, the Gowrie repeater, but not much else here. No sign of any tracks. And all quiet. Okay. The Gowrie repeater. It wasn't what I was intending on showing you. I was really hoping we might have Shadow. Got no sign of her here. And so I think it's time for us to move on to from the area and see what other things we can find. We'll go and check water, just in case she's moved across there. And we'll see well, maybe we missed her tracks. I'm convinced she's in here though. It's just such a big area for us to be able to scour, and with elephants everywhere we can't really be off on foot for too long. We've been looking at the signs and the different animals, trying to gauge from their behavior whether or not there's a chance of spotting a leopard. And Lucy, yes, absolutely, you are right in that animals are always alert at all times, which you have to be, I suppose, when you're on somebody's menu. But Lucy's question is more, never mind, we'll get to Lucy's question in a moment. Brent has his surprise for you.
Look at that, isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And a favorite of a lot of our viewers. And isn't it wonderful to have a leopard in this golden light? Now, we are on Cheetah Plains, and this is of course Mr. Q. Now, he looks a little bit hungry, not too hungry, but he could definitely have a meal. Unfortunately, he is heading north at the moment. That is towards our boundary, but we will stay with him as long as we can. Now, Mr. Q seems to like taking Jandra and I on bumbles through the thickest of thick blocks. we will try to stick with him. As you can see, it is quite an impressively thick block we're going into. Yeah. Let's try to stick with him through here. Now, we know how Mr. Quarantine loves a good termite mound. There's a good one coming up. Okay, John, there we go. Oh man, look, this is going to be absolutely spectacular. Let me just get you in the right spot. Get our shadow out of the way. Oh, look at that. Mr. Q, true to form, loves a good pose. You hear that clickety click? It's me also taking advantage of his posing. Now, I hope you guys are getting some fantastic screenshots of this. And if you are, don't forget to share them on our Facebook page, which is called Safari Live, or pop them on Twitter with the hashtag Safari Live. Said he looks a bit hungry. He has eaten, but he's by no means fat and full. Look at that. He is just a spectacular male leopard. He's around 4 years old now. Oh, there we go. Looking right at us with those gorgeous golden eyes. Cecilia says, Brent, please ask Quarantine where Shadow is hiding. You speak leopard, don't you? I wish you did. I wish I did, Cecilia. We'd have a lot more leopard sightings than we do already. And this is just absolutely gorgeous. Jean-Day, would you like me to move a bit forward so we can try and get him right in front of him? So when? How's that? Oh, magic. Oh, he's on the move. Look at this, he's right next to me. He's literally a few feet from me. He's going so close to the vehicle we can't see him. There he is. Now, he is one of Karula's progeny, and he has grown up around vehicles. He is possibly one of the most relaxed leopards I've ever spent time with. I'm going to try and keep up with him. Now, he does sometimes take us through some quite challenging areas. And it's things like that you can barely see that really damage your vehicles. But I'm just trying to see where he's gone, John. Is he still heading straight north or a bit further east? 11 o'clock. So straight north. Okay, let's try not go over things like that. There's another termite mound up ahead that he might be heading straight for. Show you a quick look before we try to get a bit closer. So this is his very, very common for male leopards or leopards in general to move termite mound to termite mound, utilizing them as high ground to see for potential prey. That. Oh, it looks like he's going to lie down for a bit. Okay, let's get a bit closer. I do love spending time with this particular leopard, although give it. Do you want the silhouette or do you want light, Andre? Okay, he wants light, not the silhouette. Cool. There we go. So a lot of you guys sending your screenshots already. Thanks very much. Look at this, and you're going to get a few more. He really does like a good pose, Mr. Quarantine. Majestic. This is the type of leopard you can snap off a whole card on. It just gives you so many great photographic opportunities. You can actually see his neck is thickened and he is turning into a beautiful big boy. He's starting to lose a bit of that puppy fat. He's starting to look like a bit of a bruiser. Look at that. A beautiful late afternoon light on half of his face. So it is nice that we're seeing so much of him again. When I first started at Safari Live, we used to see a lot of him on Djuma. Now he's checking around. There could be some potential prey up ahead. He's listening. Marsha in Oklahoma is wondering if this guy's brother, Djuma, is as successful as quarantine has become in this area. It seems to be the reports I get from down to the south that he's done well. The big male who was dominating over the area he's in was actually killed by lions recently, so he got a bit of a lucky break there. Oh, he's tired. No, not quite comfortable enough yet. Oh, look at that magnificent profile. You can see what I'm talking about. How his neck is thickening. He's getting much, much bigger. He's losing a bit of that to be trifled with. He's very big for a 4-year-old leopard. Now, he's having a little cat nap. Oh, there we go. Making himself comfortable on his paws. Now, Valeria would like to know, at 4 years old, is he considered to be in his prime? No, Valeria, he's still quite young. Leopard prime for 6 to 10 years old, so he's still a bit off being in his prime, but he is a very big male leopard for this age.
You know? Are you still going east on the cut line? Going east. Oh, okay, copy. Maybe I'll hear your cow tell you to come. Yeah, across the boundary from where we are, we can see that Koro tower.
Jen's wondering, where is brother Djuma hanging out? He is hanging out on Londolozi near the Sand River, the last information I heard.
Now you pass out. Come back on the same area from that end, then I'm taking you to Cheetah Plain 10. You pass that one, keep coming west on a halfway. Copy.
So while we sit here and wait for quarantine to get mobile again, let's go to Jamie, who's got the smallest carnivore in Africa.
From one of our biggest cats to one of our smallest predators, we've got a group of sunbathing dwarf mongoose on Knobthorne Open. This is a band of mongoose that we have become quite familiar with over the last few months. We see them pretty much every time we drive along this road. And we've arrived just in time for their evening grooming and bonding session, as well as soaking up the last rays of the sun before the temperature drops and it's time for them to disappear into their termite mound home, where they will spend the rest of the evening. Look at the bundle on the left there, having a marvellous time grooming each other. It's known as allo grooming, so grooming themselves but then also grooming each other. And it's a very, very important part of their social bonding. And that is essential for a group that lives and relies upon oh, there was a quick armpit clean there on the right. Relies upon the bonds of their group in order to survive. Using their sharp little teeth to comb through the fur and clear away any parasites that may have gathered. It's a very cute scene that's unfolding in front of us. Putting those fierce little fangs to good work. Look at that one at the back on the left. It's got a scar on it. In fact, a couple of these guys have scars. I wonder if they haven't been involved in a skirmish with another band of dwarf mongoose, or another business of dwarf mongoose. All gathering together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. 8 of them, I think, actually. There was a head that popped up that I didn't see initially. Generally, as with the primate societies, the higher ranking individuals get the most grooming from the rest of the group than others, if that makes sense. So the higher ranking you are, the more likely you are that the others are going to groom you as a way of placating and winning favour, essentially. Oh, look at them, they really do have a lot of scars. And generally, a dwarf mongoose family tends to be a non-violent place when it comes to each other. So it's not like the lions where they fight over meals, they fight for dominance. The dwarf mongoose don't have that approach. But there really are a few scars here that probably was inflicted by other mongoose. Oh, it's okay, little one. Oh, shame. It's alright, you can come. Promise you we don't bite. We've got one on the other side that I think is really wanting to go and join the rest of the group, but finds itself in a difficult position, in that there is a great big obstacle in front of it. That, of course, being us. I can't. I feel guilty. We have to go back. We have to go backwards. I mean, not that it's that hard to go around, but shame. I feel guilty. Alright, little one. Let's go see. Let's go back a bit and see if that doesn't help encourage a bit of movement from this little chap. Oh, he's darted off undercover for now. Here you go. Okay, there's a nice open spot for you. As you were. Vanished. Oh, here we are. It's okay. You can come. You can come through. Come on, little one. Okay, we're just going to sit nice and still, and that will relax them. And dwarf mongoose tend to be relatively bold creatures. Curious and get comfortable very quickly with the presence of other vehicles. So we will just wait for that little one to come. In the meantime, we will watch the rest of the group. But before we do, Cheese on Toast. Fantastic name, by the way, Cheese on Toast. I'm a big fan of Cheese on Toast. Cheese on Toast would like to know whether or not mongoose and meerkats are related. Yes, absolutely. Hey, there we go, there we go, there we go. Shot across in front of us and rejoined the rest of the group. Just to make you all feel better, the little chap off to the right there, that's our mongoose. He's gone across to join them. Well done, little guy or girl. Cheese on Toast? Yes, absolutely. Meerkats are related to mongoose. They all fall under the Herpestidae family, to be precise. And essentially a meerkat it's basically a type of mongoose. It's a mongoose that is adapted to live in very arid area, in desert areas, with a very, very similar social structure to the dwarf mongoose that we watch in this area. So we don't get meerkats here, but it's very, very similar. They are much, much larger than our little dwarf mongoose, but they are not too much larger than the banded mongoose that we also get here, and that's also a social form of mongoose. Oh, shame, it was actually a little one. It is a almost fully grown, but not quite fully grown little dwarf mongoose. Okay, I'm going to reposition again back to our original spot, now that our straggler has rejoined the group. Oh, we talk about our dwarf mongoose. Never mind, over to Brent. Let's see what Quarantine's up to.
He's just spotted a duiker. The duiker came running in towards us, and he just spotted it and he shot off that termite mound. No, I didn't see where the duiker went. I was running parallel to him, so we're going to sit tight for now. Oh, looks like he's lost interest, but it was enough to get him up off the termite mound. He just literally sprinted down. He's now mobile north again. Okay, we're going to try to stick with him. But as you can see, this is a relatively challenging area. Trying to find a gap through here. There's one. Or is it? Not really. He might use this termite mound right in front of us. It's a bit smaller than the ones he has been using, so he might not. Oh, he is going to. He's going to pop up right opposite us. He is moving north. And that's not ideal for us. Yeah, he's smelling. That's where the duiker might have been sleeping before it dashed through. I mean, a good sniff. It also could possibly be a scent mark from another leopard. Oh yeah, really good sniff around that little grivia bush. Oh, he's on the move again. I'm in a bit of a predicament here. Let's see if we can get out of it. Still see him, John, right? Past yours. Yeah. Hold on. Trying to see. Ah, there we go. Got him. Okay, I'm going to try and get up ahead of him. It's going to be quite difficult to stick with him. He is getting very close to our northern boundary. Jean-Ray, you looking for me? Ah, got him. Okay. Of course, he's gone through the thickest of the thick there, just to the left of us. I'm hoping we're going to get him popping out right here. Well, let's hope he heads for that large termite mound. But I think was sort of coming out a little bit further to the west. You see him, Jean-Ray? Okay, so this is a bit of guesswork. I've gone quite far ahead to see if we can jump ahead of him. Let's keep my eye open. He has gone into a very, very thick thing. Everyone's had to come out wide and around. I think I saw... Oh, it's a bird. I just saw a flash of movement. Oh, here we go. Well done, Jean-Andre. So we did choose the right spot. He's heading straight towards us. It looks like he's stopped for a think, and a smell, and a scent mark. Now this is very unusual for a leopard of his age to be scent marking so profusely. And he's going to be in competition with his half-brother, Shavambalan. Oh, he is just gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, they move so gracefully. So he's going to come right next to Jean-Andre. Right behind us. Oh, beautiful. So yeah, you might go for that big termite mound. Unless he spots something else. Look just beyond him. You see that very fast-moving... No, stay there, Jean-Andre. Just when he moves his head, you'll see just beyond it. Did you see that very fast-moving thing there? I think it was a little Battis alarm calling. A little bird in there that's not very happy with his presence. Okay, let's try. Of course, he has chosen a particularly nasty block. I want to see if he's not moving towards that termite mound. So I'm going to go up and around again. I don't feel like dashing through the thicket. The road's right here. Of course, this road is unfortunately also our northern boundary. There he is. Jean-Andre, you might get your VR wish. I think he's going to walk straight on this path. So I don't know if you want to roll now. As he comes, we can try. He's going to go a little bit wide. No, he might come right up to us. Okay, I'm just going to... Oh, oh, Jean-Andre, panic, Jean-Andre, push the button, Jean-Andre. Jean-Andre's panicking. No, we have a GoPro malfunction. It's okay. It's not your fault, Jean-Andre. Let's just concentrate on the leopard. So he's heading right now towards the northern edge of our traverse area. And I think he is going to cross the boundary, unfortunately. But it's still been great to catch up with him. And about to step out onto the road and across our boundary. Or he could change his mind at the last minute. I doubt it, but we can have some wishful thoughts. Maybe he'll head a little bit further to the east. Bye-bye, Mr. Q. And we're going to have to leave him be. He's heading now deep into Nkoro. Let's try to see if we get one last nice view from the road. And then we're going to make space for other vehicles here. There we go. There you go, a leopard in a hat. Not something you see in the same shot every day. Oh, a leopard in hair as well. So he's crossed out of our traverse zone. He's definitely on the hunt. Hopefully he makes his way back towards Cheetah Plains to hunt. He's going to zigzag through this mixed broadleafed woodland at the moment. Using that termite mound to survey around. Definitely on the hunt. And weren't we lucky to spend that time with him in that beautiful golden light a little bit earlier? Well, he posed so nicely for us atop a termite mound. Just carefully checking around. You might lie down on this termite mound and we might carry on hunting. He's going to carry on. I think that's the last visual we're going to get of him for this evening's sunset safari, but it has been quite spectacular. And while we've been following him, it's got a bit cold. And I was too excited about following the leopard to put my jersey on. I'm going to take that opportunity now quickly. And there was a nice herd of elephants around 3 in a row pan. We'll go see. I think we might have missed them while we've been following the leopard, but we'll go have a look anyway. Oh, bouncy bounce. Oh, look at that. Beautiful sight. Not quite as beautiful as the leopard, but nonetheless, I'll let Jandre choose his sunset this time. Although, I think it's quite average, Jandre. We could have done a bit better if you just let me go a bit further. There we go. The African sun setting. Isn't that exquisite? Okay, Jandre, I take it back. It's quite a good sunset. You can actually see as Jandre darkens, you can see some sun spots. Isn't that incredible? 1, 2, 3 that I can see. And the sun is not broken. It's not shattering. That's just a little stick that's in between us and the sun on the left-hand side of the screen. Wow, isn't that amazing? Lovely. Okay, let's move towards the pan before we lose all our light. Whoa, that was wonderful. I do love spending time with Quarantine. He's always such good value. And that's the nice thing about young male leopards. They're always up and active, or a lot more up and active than an adult male. Adult male generally just tends to march, hunt, scent mark, march, hunt, scent mark. Now, someone was asking whether Quarantine had any offspring yet. And Tasha, here we are. Hi, Tasha. Not yet. He's still too young to hold a territory, although he's behaving like he holds territory. So maybe he'll get lucky enough to mate before he's 5. But at the moment, it's not impossible, but just very unlikely that he has any offspring just yet. Now, Gen B is wondering how big is Quarantine in comparison to Tingana. I would say he's probably still 65 to 70 kilograms, whereas Tingana is probably 80 to 85 kilograms. So in terms of height, they're about the same size, but Quarantine is yet to fill out. Okay, so on our way down here, we dashed past the elephants to get to Quarantine. He was heading through into that thick block, so we managed to get there just in time. Just want to see if any of the elephants are still hanging around at the 3 in a row pan. While we go do that, let's go see what Jamie's been up to.
Well, we might not have had any luck with Shadow, but at least you got to see her younger brother. I was going to say little brother, but younger brother I think is a better description. Quarantine, the lovely male leopard that I actually encountered for the very first time just a few days ago. It's the one and only time I've ever seen him. Quarantine, as far as I understand, was named after quarantine clearings, and it was just before I started working here on Djuma that he actually dispersed and moved away from his mother's territory. And speaking of his mother, I've moved outwards from my search for Shadow, although I am going to return to that area. I've just been doing very, very large loops around it, hoping that perhaps I've missed something, but I haven't. I know she's in there somewhere. The block where 4 guides spent 4 hours tracking Shadow, including Herbert, and never managed to find her not so long ago. So a very, very tricky spot, and I'm relatively certain that is where she is. Oh, very bouncy spot over there. And we're going to search instead for Shadow's mother for now, and then slowly make our way back into that area. What I'd really, really like to do is go up towards Sydney's dam in the hope, I know that Brent has shared the news about our hyena den on Manuleti, kind of in the hope that they might have decided to pop out around there, just pop out around the dam, I mean. But unfortunately, I don't think Wendy will quite make it that far north. She's a little bit limited as to where she can go. No, well, it seems as though Elephant's prediction came... No! What is wrong with me today? Brent's prediction of elephants came true. Let's head across to him.
Oh, well, we're literally surrounded by elephants at the moment. That one's having a scratch. They're quickly in front of us, Chandra. 2 boys. Look at that. 2 young boys having a bit of a wrestle. Actually, yeah, their tusks hitting each other. I don't think that game's over yet. Well, we can see who's winning, and it's the one on the left. They are creating a fair amount of dust. Now, I wonder, just come wide again, Jandre. He's still stalking, that other bull is still stalking the other one. Oh, look at that. Oh, isn't that amazing? Now that's swagger. I want to get a bit closer. I'm quite interested into the dynamic that's happening with those two bulls. I will come back to the rest of the herd, but I think there might be a bit more action around those two again. Oh, sorry, little one. Watching all the other elephants all around us. Large Slumbeoven Glove at 3 in a row. Okay. I just want to watch what happens between these two. Found the water pipe, or the old water pipe, and is wondering why there's no fresh water coming out of it. I still think just blowing bubbles. Now here we go, this is what I was waiting for. I didn't think that game was quite over yet. Oh, oopsie. And see, it's a bit more playing, although these boys are probably mid to late 20s. Oh dear, what's going on? Oh. I thought there might be a little bit more action. See, the smaller elephant has chosen the higher ground, standing above, trying to take advantage of that. There we go. It's not too serious, it's more playful than anything else. Oh, push you into the water. These young bulls are so much fun, especially when in this type of mood. Oh. I'm going to go make some big mud splashes shortly. Right, just playing. Oh, fantastic creatures to spend time with. Now, what an apt description by Lynn. They're like two teenage boys messing around. That suits this sort of scenario perfectly. Now, who's going to make the first move? Stalemate. Oh, there we go. Oh, I was trying to entice a bit of tussling. And look, from his wet trunk that he's putting on his forehead, he's now got war paint on. Oh, it looks like they've hit a bit of a stalemate. Let's go see what the rest of the herd are doing behind us. Oh, wait. Okay, no, maybe let's stay with these two for a bit longer. There we go. You can hear that. As you're saying, not too serious, just two young boys playing around. Oh. Now they're right opposite us now. Now the one on the left looks like it could be slightly older, but smaller in body size. Now, this is very playful, not serious, but an elephant fight can get very serious. So they're about to walk behind us. Oh, we just noticed us here. So we're going to have to turn the car around. While we do that, Jamie's got some other animals that are locking, or their horns in this case.
I really wanted to show you what the impala rams were doing. They were fighting as well, so I thought I was going to sort of lead with there must be something in the air in the Sabi Sands tonight. Unfortunately, our impala, right at that moment, true to the joys of live wildlife filming, decided to stop sparring. So much for that idea. It was a good idea while it lasted, Gerard, from fighting elephants to fighting impala. They've all completely relaxed, and off they go. We have some zebra to show you instead. If you'll bear with me one moment, they've also decided to go behind the tree. So all in all, it's gone fabulously around Treehouse Dam. The animals are not on our side today. Well, no, that's not quite true. We just haven't been very lucky today. Let's go forward a little bit for our zebra stallions, in the hope that we can provide you with a good reason to have taken you away from Brent's elephants temporarily. And there you go, our zebra looking as always, incredibly picturesque in the evening light. Standing by. No, it was west of the antenna, a little bit further in towards that block, maybe even a little bit northwest, but it was west of that antenna. Sorry guys, just chatting to Herbert about where the alarm calls were. Right, I'm going to, in that case, since our impala have stopped fighting and our zebra is presenting us with a rear view, I don't want to take you away from Brent's elephants for too long, so back you go, right back to Cheetah Plains.
Well, fighting over, now it's time to throw dust on oneself. Now, a third bull has joined us. There's his bottom. And he seems to just be playing with the water a little bit, not really drinking, just sort of sucking and spraying. Oh, he's going to have a drink now. Slightly older, slightly bigger. I'd say he's early 30s. Hey, big boy. Almost looks like he's giving me a little mischievous look, like he wanted to come shake his head at the car. Now, while we've been following these bulls around, the rest of that breeding herd has moved off into the bush, and it looks like the bulls are going to join them. I'll stick with them while we can. It's wonderful spending time amongst Africa's giants. I do love ellies, especially the boys. Looks like they're going to head off for a night's feeding now. Had a nice little drink down at the pan, and they're going to spread through this woodland now. Isn't this awesome? We're just slowly moving parallel to this big boy. Hello, you. He changed his mind. He wants to cross the road. Off after the breeding herd. Well, we're going to let these ellies move off and continue on with their nocturnal foraging. Oh, there's another one coming. Is he going to follow? Or is he going to stay on the peripheries? This is one of the young wrestlers. No, looks like he's going to move. I'll try to keep up with him. Oh, I think he might stop for a scratch. Scratching his tummy against the wood. He can't be that itchy. Oh, yes, he is that itchy. He's going to sit on the log. So quite often they'll get ticks and things stuck in their groin there, and scratching on sticks like that help them to remove those ectoparasites. mister. It looks like he's going to follow the other ellies. So Sheen's wondering what was the meaning of the gesture the one Ellie was showing earlier, holding his trunk on his forehead. I don't think there was any meaning to it. I think he was just playing. So we're going to let these Ellies move off into the west, and we're going to start heading back towards the north. But Cheetah Plains has fortunately delivered for us on this sunset safari. Bad, mister. What branches are you breaking there? So there we go. Oh, yes. Not the bravest, that elephant. Deciding Genre was far too scary for him to hang around here. So we're going to start making our way back towards the north, which is Djuma, and see what we can find on our way. Hopefully we can find some little nocturnal critters that are going to start coming out now at the dusk. While we start heading north, let's go see how Jamie is doing.
Jamie has headed back to the west. I've got some very exciting but also vaguely frustrating news for you, and that is that Herbert found very, very fresh tracks around the repeater. So where we went this afternoon, she popped out there with her cub in that area. So Herbert's still convinced she's got a kill somewhere there. We must have just missed out on seeing her. And unfortunately now it's that little bit too dark for us to go back there and have a look for her, because we can't, and we won't, spotlight a cub that is that young. Sadly, our search for Shadow ends for now, but at least we have a really good place to start for tomorrow morning's sunrise safari. Oh, it's one of those days where she was just so close and yet so far. Well, she probably was never far, she was probably always very close. It was just that difficult patch, and we must have just missed her. I'm trying to untangle my spotlight. There we go. It was caught up in my radios. So we'll continue on, we'll keep an eye out for her, but we won't go looking for her in that area with the spotlight. Now we've just got to hope that Shadow, on contrary to what we've been talking about earlier, we've got to hope that Shadow does in fact keep her kill this time around, safe from hyenas. Hopefully she hoists it if in fact she does have a kill with her. And for now we'll abandon the search and carry on looking for nocturnal creatures. And I think since we're here, let's go and investigate that bush baby nest that is not far from us at all. See if they've been spending their evenings there. The bush babies have a number of nests that they regularly utilize, but they don't stay in the same place every night. So what they'll do is they'll have a number of different places that they return to, but they'll move from place to place. And just by the way, on that subject, the dwarf mongoose that we saw, I encountered another group, another family really close to where we spotted the other group, which means I think that we were right about the fact they might even be involved in a little bit of a territorial dispute, and that might explain the fresh scars that were on some of those mongoose that we saw. Ah, Shadow in her favorite block. Oh, and that's a very good reminder from Jerry. Sorry, Miss Lynn, we got completely distracted by quarantine. I do hope you are still with us. We were just about to answer your question, and we had to rush you back across to quarantine. So Miss Lynn was asking whether or not, since we have dwarf mongoose, whether or not we have regular-sized mongoose. And yes, we do. We have several different types of mongoose that we see, and in fact one of them is nocturnal, and one that we get really excited about seeing. So we get the banded mongoose, which I've managed to put on camera once, very far away, and I think Scott managed to see them once on camera. But other than that, they are really incredibly tricky to spot. They're very, very shy, but they're about 1.5 times the size of your average dwarf mongoose. This is the bush baby nest. Let's just see for a second whether or not it pops its head out. But I think it's quiet for now. Little bush baby. We have been treated to the cutest sighting of bush babies in this spot before. Hello! Right on cue. What's going on? Could you have timed that more perfectly? How cool is that? Hello, little guy. Or girl. Thank you very much for that. At least the bush babies are playing along this afternoon. A very sleepy face poking out of its hole to investigate what's going on. Oh no, I think I'll go back to bed instead. Not quite time for me to be awake. Almost. It is actually time for you to be awake, little bush baby. How cool is that? Just goes to show as well how comfortable they feel with the vehicle, because if that bush baby didn't feel comfortable, it wouldn't have popped its head out. How perfect was that timing? It was absolutely awesome. Sorry, Miss Lynn, your question will get answered fully in one person. One more time, yes, no? Little bush baby, want to come say goodnight to everybody and farewell? No, bedtime. Not quite ready to get out of bed just yet. Fair enough. I sometimes feel like that first thing in the morning, as I've said before at this particular bush baby nest. And we leave our little bush baby in peace to pop out in the next few moments. It's exactly the right time for our bush baby to go out and start foraging. This is obviously a very well inhabited bush baby nest. Thanks for that, little one. That was an awesomely timed appearance. Okay, onwards. I think our little bush baby's going to stay in for now. Cool. Very special. And back to poor Miss Lynn and her question, since we seem destined to keep being interrupted. Miss Lynn, apart from the banded mongoose, we also get the slender mongoose, another very shy mongoose. In contrast to the dwarf and the banded, it is entirely solitary, unless it has little ones with it, or if it's mating, but other than that, you see them on their own, and you usually see the tail end of them disappearing into termite mounds, which is why we get really, really excited if we spot one. And then, of course, there is the white-tailed mongoose, the nocturnal species. We might, if we are really fortunate, and I found tracks of them once, and I had it confirmed with some of the other tracking experts in the area, that it was a white-tailed mongoose track. A water mongoose track, not a white-tailed mongoose track. So that was up near Sydney's Dam, and that's a water mongoose would be relatively unusual in this area. Another extraordinary sighting I had, unfortunately most definitely not on camera, it was on the way home from visiting friends in Simbambili, and that was a striped polecat, which is also relatively rare, same family or similar family as the mongoose and the meerkats. That put in an appearance, and we'll be very, very excited if we do spot one of those at some point. The night holds all kinds of exciting secrets waiting to be found. That bush baby was a wonderful moment. Just little head peeking out and blinking sleepily at us. Night monkey, which I think is a really, really lovely descriptive name. A lesser galago or a nahapi in Afrikaans. So whenever you add an IE sound to any Afrikaans word, or a key sound, depending on the word, then it's a diminutive. It's a little thing. A little cat is a kat is a kaiki, etc. It carries on like that, so that is a little night monkey. And that is, of course, what it is. It might not look it, but it is the tiniest primate that we get on in the Sabi sand. There's also a type of bush baby called a greater galago, or a thick-tailed bush baby, and that is much, much larger than its little bush baby cousin, than its lesser bush baby cousin, and they have a screech that's where the name comes from. They sound like squealing babies, like a newborn infant screaming because it's hungry. That's what the thick-tailed bush baby sounds like. And unlike the lesser bush baby, which spends most of its time foraging about in trees for gum, the thick-tailed bush baby spends a lot of time on the ground. Now, whilst we could get them here, and I think we'd be very excited if we did see them, they are generally tend to confine themselves to areas with rivers, with permanent water sources, with enormous jackalberry canopies and leadwood canopies, fig trees. They tend to prefer those sorts of forested areas. But we don't really get them here. And there's a little family of bush babies that actually live at camp with all of us, and they alternate between sleeping in the trees above what we call the Wendy house at DRC, or they live at Mike and Candace's house, our next door neighbors. And they sleep there, and the dogs, you know exactly when the lesser bush babies are sleeping at Mike and Candace's house, because their dogs are very good. They don't do anything. They just go and sit underneath the tree that they sleep in and stare up at them longingly. I also know lots and lots of places with habituated bush babies, something we've spoken about before. You don't really want to pet bush baby. They're terribly cute, but just bear in mind that their instinct is to put drops of urine on their hands and feet so that they can mark their territory. They will, whenever they cling onto you or jump on you, just remember where their feet have been. And Andreen, you want to know whether we have ever seen bush baby teeth? Am I correct in that? No, I don't think we've ever come close to, well, I certainly not with me. I don't know whether we've ever managed to get close enough. Certainly with the camera that Brent has on his vehicle, we might be able to get a good glimpse of them if a bush baby were to give us a nice yawn. They have the bottom teeth that they utilize are actually quite specialized, used for grooming, so their incisors form a nice grooming ridge that they use to keep themselves clean. And as you can imagine, they do have quite sharp little teeth because they're omnivorous. At this time of year, most of their diet consists of gum or sap from the trees, and what they'll do is they'll go and find a nice spot where a beetle has bored into the bark, and they'll suck up the sap from there. But they do also catch and eat things like moths and insects, which in turn means that they need the kind of teeth that an animal would require to maintain that sort of diet. So quite sharp little teeth as well. Now we had that perfect little spot for a bush baby to hide, but they don't necessarily sleep in holes. They will actually even find a tree branch where they will huddle all together. A couple of females and one or two males will all cuddle up together to spend their day asleep and safe. It has to be somewhere with plenty of cover though, because obviously there's a lot of animals that hunt during the day. Anything like the Djuma or the harrier hawk that we saw today would be a regular predator of bush babies. Any raptor species, so they've got to pick a spot that is safe for them, and a hole like that is absolutely ideal. But they do not make the holes themselves. So what they will do is they will take over a hole that has been made already. And that question came through from Laura, watching in Pennsylvania. Laura, no, they don't make their own holes. And what they'll do is a hollowed out dead branch, like the one that was in, was perfect. Because a woodpecker might come along and open up a hole there. Or, alternatively, something like a barbet is also capable of excavating its own holes. So generally, the little bush babies are relatively ill-equipped to create their own nest sites. Yes, they might definitely perhaps pick away at the bark, maybe hollow out, make it a bit more comfortable for themselves, but they don't excavate their own little nest sites. And perhaps if we keep monitoring that particular bush baby hole, there's a chance that we might even get to see little tiny bush babies, which is a bit tautologist, but you get what I mean. A bush baby would be trust me, one of the cutest things you can see out here. And they stay in their little hole until they are fully covered in fur, and then they go out with their moms. Yes, Chitra, spot on. The bush babies are in the same family as the slow lorises. They are put together. They group together in all of the textbooks. The slow lorises and all the prosimians are all grouped. They're all part of the prosimian groups, and they are actually thought to be one of the most primitive forms of primate that have evolved. So that hand structure that they haven't quite got to the dexterity that monkeys and the apes have, with the either partially or completely movable thumb, but they have got the basic prosimian hand structure, that grasping motion that they create, that they make. So yes, spot on, Chitra. Related very closely to the slow lorises. And there's one other primate that's in that family, and it's going to drive me mad. I will remember it. Just give me a moment to kick my brain into gear, because obviously it's been working so well this afternoon. Oh, what is the other one? I'm going to kick myself when when it's going to come to me. I'm going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with my eyes wide open and go, oh, that was it. It's not a lemur, but it's something similar. Thank you, Kat. It's not a lemur. Oh. I'll remember, I promise. At some point I will remember. It'll come back to me. Sometimes I put too much information in my brain at once and it doesn't keep all of it. It's fine. I'll go and look it up to see. Oh, I've got full access to my library again as of today. So I'll go and double check it in my Estes book of Behavioral Guide of Mammals. He'll be able to tell me. Right. My mission over the next few days, and has been over the last few months, is to find you guys a porcupine. Dina, I'm really sorry. You've provided a suggestion that Jerry is desperately trying to give me, but I can't hear what she's saying. I'm sorry, Jerry, one more time. She's saying flops.
Flaps.
Flaps. Floss. Sloths! She's saying sloths. That's what she's saying. I'm sorry. No, Dina, they're not. But there's probably you'll find there's a common ancestor though, but that's not what I'm thinking of. In terms of related to the bush babies. It's not a sloth. Sorry, Jerry. I don't know why I thought you were saying floss. That's what it came through. That's what it sounded like through the radio. I was trying to work out if there was some magical floss creature that I'd never heard of. No, Dina, I don't think it's not the sloths that I'm thinking of. It is actually difficult to say, enunciate properly in a South African accent. Definitely not Jerry's fault. That was entirely my fault. Well, guys, we will have to continue our discussion. I will go and look up what it is that I am trying to remember, and we will return tomorrow at the start of the sunrise safari to, fingers crossed, find Shadow and her lovely little cub. But you'll have to wait a few hours until the sunrise safari for that to become a reality. So for now, a big thank you to Gert, also known as Carrot, despite his objection to the nickname, for all of his fantastic camera work, as well as to the lovely Jerry and Rebecca in final control. Most importantly, thank you to all of you for joining us. I hope you had a marvelous sunset safari experience, and we'll catch up with you in a few short hours. For now, I'm going to say farewell and send you back over to Brent, who would also like to say his goodbyes. Cheers, everybody.
Well, hopefully we can conjure a nocturnal critter before the end of the sunset safari. And we are in a good area for that. We're on the southwestern bank of the Mawati river system, and there's some nice open clearings and sodic sites, thickets, so lots of different potential habitats. But really great to catch up with Mr. Q on the sunset safari. He definitely is starting to behave like a dominant leopard, and that's very young, very interesting. He is big for a 4-year-old, but still quite interesting behavior. So it's going to be a very interesting little story that's going to play out there between him and Shivambalan. And of course, you never know when a new male might come in from the Kruger or from the south. So interesting times taking place around the Cheetah Plains area with the male leopards, and of course hopefully Shadow and her little Bubba will be around on the sunrise safari. We're quite certain they've got a kill in there somewhere. Now it's just a matter of finding it. It is a massive area without any roads, and of course it's always been a pleasure having Gendre on camera with me today. He behaved himself. He didn't sing once. I shouldn't have. I probably just jinxed it. I'm trying to see if he's about to burst into a song. No, fortunately not. I shall survive. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in a few short hours for the sunrise safari. Bye.